This program is brought to you by Newsworks in cooperation with the City of Eau Claire. This program is simulcast on WRFP-LP 101.9 FM.
Well, I'd like to call this meeting to order, the October 15th Plan Commission. Thanks for everybody coming here tonight. Appreciate it. This meeting is being broadcast, although I don't believe it's being broadcast live. Valley Media Works, Charter Cable, 994, WRFP-LP 101.9 FM, and online at .org. I'm sorry, ValleyMediaWorks.org. I suspect that's the only one that gets broadcast, perhaps. I guess our microphones aren't working either tonight, so everybody can just speak up. We'll try to make it quick and easy. I know there's a game on tonight, so hopefully you get home soon enough to watch some of that Brewers game or other games. Also, the Planning Commission attempts to conduct its public hearings in a relatively informal manner within the constraints of we must deal with all the issues before us in an orderly and business-like fashion. We give the applicant an opportunity to speak first, and then others, either for or against the proposal, are each permitted opportunity to speak once. We do request that everyone restrict their comments to the issues before us, avoid unnecessary repetition, and be prudent with the use of time. We do want to make sure that we have adequate time to review all items equal diligence. If everybody would, please turn off phones or turn them to silent. There's some yellow forms in the back. If you're going to be speaking tonight, please fill them out and turn them in up on the top desk here. Before speaking, please introduce yourself with name and address. And with that, item number 1, conditional use permit, electronic message center wall sign for the public library. Mr. Petrie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Before you is a conditional use permit for a LED sign located at the public library at 400 Eau Claire Street. Currently, the public library is zoned P public. This proposed LED sign, here's an aerial photograph showing the site along the Eau Claire River. Here is a notification map that is in your packet. Within 300 feet of the site, we notify the property owners. Here is a Google Street View of the site and where it's going to be located. And then here's the proposed LED message center sign. All these items are attached in your packet except the Google Street View. The proposed electronic message center sign is 8 feet 3 inches by 4 feet 5 inches, or approximately 36 square feet. The sign will have 8 lines of 5-inch copy letter with full display of color. The proposed location for the wall sign is on the west entrance, or the west side of the entrance on the main library entrance. The sign will be visible for pedestrians, bicycles, and vehicles traveling north on Falwell Street and east on Eau Claire Street. If you're coming from the south to the north on Falwell Street, you probably will not be able to see the sign. Again, the property is currently zoned P public. The provisions are attached in your packet for review. This is the second time the Plan Commission will be considering a conditional use permit for an LED sign, message center sign, located in the downtown sign district. Also, one note, this sign is within 100 feet of a traffic signal. On July 16th, the Plan Commission did approve a message center sign for the Pablo Center with approximately 57 square feet in size, but at this time it has not been installed. The other 2 message center signs currently located downtown predate the sign ordinance of today. Again, I would note that the proposed LED sign is within 100 feet of a traffic signal, and the provisions are noted in your report. To satisfy this request, staff would recommend that the display change not be more than 1 minute. This is similar requirement of the Pablo Center sign and is consistent with other Plan Commission approvals for message center signs within a close proximity to a traffic signal. For example, CVS has that same standard. This will address safety needs, concerns that staff would have, or pedestrians would have, bicycles would have, and vehicles approaching the traffic signals. Again, in addition, the provisions in the code for the standard operation of a message center sign state that messages shall be not changing every 2 minutes in between, or 2 seconds in between. With that, staff would recommend approval of the request for the proposed Mention Center sign on the wall with the condition that they would hold for 60 seconds. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks. Any questions for Ryan? I'm not seeing any. Thanks. Is the applicant here? Want to come up? Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Issa Small, and I'm the programming manager at Ellie Phillips. And I think Ryan did an excellent job outlining the scope of the project, but I'm happy to answer any questions if any of you.
Any concern with the 60-second time delay or
Not at
time?
all.
Okay. Any questions for applicant? For Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Small, I wanted to ask, I guess, what you were planning on using the sign for. If it's mostly for advertising programming, and then also another question about if the sign would, I imagine the sign would be taken off the building and then reused again on a renovated library, because I understand that over the next few years the desire is to renovate the library, and I guess I wanted to see what you were thinking in terms of the long term.
Yes, absolutely. The first question, it would be used for a variety of public awareness items. It would be library hours. Right now, it's really hard to tell what the library hours are. Most people already park and put a quarter in the meter before they realize it's closed. And on that note, we could especially post any emergency closures for weather, etc., or if it's a holiday. And then also a variety of library programs, but also resources, and it would be very generic, not a lot of text, but hey, we have resources for job seekers or small business, people getting started in a small business. So a variety of general library resources as well as special programs. And then as far as the sign can be moved, we're really far away from knowing exactly what the building may or may not look like, but the sign is perfectly mobile. So aside from the cost of moving the electrical, if that's needed, it could be moved to a different area of the library, or it could even be moved out to a standalone monument. So those are all definitely things that we were thinking of and making sure we're thinking of the future.
Mr. Peterson?
Would you have any objection to the sign being restricted from using red, green, or yellow lettering as we did with the CVS pharmacy because of the proximity to the traffic signals?
So the text would not be red, green, or yellow?
Yes.
Not at all. They're not great colors for text anyway.
Mr. Granlund, did you have a question?
Actually, I have been curious about the fact that it is not really a very visible location from either direction on Farwell. Mainly it seems to be for pedestrians in the parking lot areas seem to be the best target for this. Even eastbound Eau Claire seems to be, from a vehicle, not especially well placed for people to see it as they're passing. I think as one was getting closer to the building, one had better view of it. But from South Farwell, you've got the bank building in the way, and then the whole tree planting area by your front entry blocks the sign from all of northbound Farwell.
Yes, the trees, so the city foresters let us know that those trees are at the end of their life, and they're ready to replace them, and certainly they'd be happy to cut them back so that the sign is visible. Just have to be there's a couple of big lower branches that are in the way. That's something we've already started conversations with them about. And then it is not the most, it's the best location of our options that we have with the angles in the building and how it's situated on the street. It's the best that we can do right now, but certainly if there's like a library plaza baby traffic is not coming from all four ways there. That's one of the reasons we wanted to make sure that it would be something that could be moved into a freestanding monument.
Yeah, your mention of those future options
Yeah.
was already answered part of my
Yeah.
question.
Yes, it's something that we've been wanting to do for several years now, and we know that there are some big changes that might be a better location, and we also know that we may have to submit a different application for those down the road, but we just want to make sure that we have the opportunity to reach customers and community members as soon as we can.
And then I had done a little bit of comparison with signage standards for ADA and highway signage. The 8 lines you show are really, really close to the minimum spacing you should have for legibility.
Yeah, the 8 lines just kind of gives you a scope of the amount of text that can fit on there. That's certainly not what we're going to go
Sticking to
for.
something closer to 6 would be much more legible for the
Yeah.
public.
We will,
Even at it's only about 100 feet across the road from there, so you're not really taxing people's eyesight.
I'm envisioning there would be less than 20% of the image at any given point would be text. Would be a nice visual, and then
And so
maybe
none of
type.
those have any sway on what our voting is, but I just wanted to make sure you were.
Yeah, we want to
You're
make
clear
sure that
on
people
the-
can read it too. That's why we're putting
You
it
want to
up
be able to
there.
read it, you want to be able to see it from far enough away to react to it before you actually put your dime in the machine or quarter.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Terry, did you have a question?
I think Mr. Gannon had asked some of the questions. I guess I'm not too concerned about the coloration of the red, yellow, and green. I mean, just looking at the scale, if the scale's correct on our sheets, it's like it's almost 200 feet from where the light is to the building where the, I should say, from where the traffic lights are to where the light is on the building. Can you go back to this? So, if I'm correct, it's just above the red car, correct?
Mhm.
That panel there?
Yeah, would be right.
It looks like the traffic lights are on the south side of that intersection. Is that right?
This photo is taken from the southwest corner.
There is a traffic light on that,
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
on that corner or on the other, on the
All
south side?
corners.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Pointing the other way.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions? All right, I'm not seeing any. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So this one's a public hearing, and so if there's anybody here that'd like to come forward to discuss the item, now's the opportunity. I don't think there's anybody here to talk about it, so I guess we're looking for a motion. Mr. Breno,
I'll move approval.
motion?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Peterson?
Can we restrict the use of the red, green, or yellow lettering, just like we did with CVS, which is approximately the same distance from the traffic signals on Hastings Way? I don't see that this should be treated any differently.
Could. Yes. Wouldn't have to be part of the motion, so I guess it'd be up to Craig and Craig if they want to amend or if they want to go forward with the vote.
I just can go forward with the vote.
Chairman?
Mr. Chair, I would agree that we should restrict those 3 colors, although I'm not one making a motion. The original motion, obviously.
Do we want to?
Is it a motion to amend? An amendment? Mr. Chair,
We could do a motion to amend and vote on that motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll accept the suggestion.
Craig, are you okay with that? What are the 3 colors? It's
Red, green, and yellow, the same as
no
traffic
red, no
signals.
green, no yellow.
Yeah.
On the text. So if they did like the Valentine's theme, they could do red hearts or something, and then text would have to be black or something.
Whatever
Right, I
CVS
mean,
is allowed.
just as an example. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Restricted to text.
Okay, so we got a motion, a second, and restriction on sign, changing signs every 60 seconds, and restriction against the 3 colors. Okay. Any additional discussion? Jerry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of the things that I would note is that the intersection of Eau Claire and Farwell is really one of our highest pedestrian count intersections. So that's one of the reasons for that restriction, as far as I'm concerned. And, so I'm just putting some reasoning out there.
Fair enough. Everybody's on board with the change, so. Well then, no additional discussion. Let's call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. Congratulations. All right, item number 2, public discussion for recommendation. Right of way. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, Schwein Street. That's the right of way in question in an aerial. Better to show it. What we're really talking about is this parcel of land right here. In 1991, the DOT included that portion of Schwenk Street, actually including all of Schwenk Street farther to the east in the plat map for the North Crossing project, making it part of the highway right-of-way. This year, the DOT wants to deed that back to the city, a portion of the right-of-way that's not being used for the embankment for the North Crossing. So this is the flatter area behind. There's also a little bit of a swale to take the drainage on out. They want to deed that back to the city. So the item before you is to make a recommendation on accepting the parcel, and then when it comes back to the city, it comes back as a parcel. And so the other half of that then would be to put it back to being right-of-way when we take it. So that's the item before you to make a recommendation on that.
Okay. Any questions? I'm not seeing it. Next. And then the city, yeah, all right, this one. Okay. Is there anybody here that'd like to discuss this item? In the public? Last chance. Anybody here from the public that'd like to discuss? Okay. How about, I guess we'll be looking for a motion. Peterson.
I'll make a motion to accept this strip of land as right-of-way and return it to right-of-way status.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Good deal. Item number 3, public discussion for recommendation, vacation of right-of-way. Mall Drive.
I'm not sure if I saved any steps by going there or not. We've received a request to vacate this portion of Mall Drive, and where it shows up on our aerial photography is actually a little chunk of land right there. The owner of this parcel is preparing a CSM to facilitate the sale of it. There's some ambiguity as to whether this was actually vacated or not. It was originally established in 1952 as part of the DOT project to improve State Highway 93. It used to actually come in off the side and then curve in through here, and then this was the 5 corners. And that project is what brought 93 down Mall Drive. As late as as early as 1982, we were already on city maps showing the right-of-way as already having shifted, but nobody can find the documentation of when that happened. And so the owner of the parcel is asking us to formally vacate it in order to clean up the land records so that their CSM can proceed smoothly. So the item before you is to make a recommendation to the City Council to vacate that portion of right-of-way to clean up the land records.
Great. Any questions? John? There we go.
Is there any problem that does the state need to vacate it too?
No, in this particular case, the right-of-way has been given to the city, so it's ours to vacate.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Great. Thanks. Again, this is a public hearing. Anybody here from the public that would like to come forward? Anybody from the public? Not seeing anything. I guess we'll be looking for a motion. Sure.
I'll move to approve.
Motion, second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, let's call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. Thanks. Takes us to discussion direction. Full compliance items. Future agenda items. Sir.
So not future agenda items, but I do want to mention, we are exactly in the middle of National Community Planning Month. So I think mention that October is National Community Planning Month. The American Planning Association, as you've seen in magazines, may make reference to that. So just want to thank you all for being a part of that by attending a planning commission meeting here tonight, when others may be interested in other events. So thank you for your diligence in attending and participating in making our community better and stronger. So go out there and celebrate.
Wonderful. Any other future agenda items, discussion items? All right, additions or corrections to the minutes? No? All right, we're adjourned.
This program was brought to you by a cooperation between Newsworks and the City of Eau Claire. A transcript of this meeting is available for the hearing impaired. It will be available within 7 days of this telecast. Call 715-839-4912 or TDD 715-839-1689 or write Eau Claire City Clerk, P.O. Box 5148, Eau Claire, Wisconsin 54702-5148. Newsworks is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, please contact us via phone at 715-839-5067 or online at valleymediaworks.org.